The capital city of the Xylan Empire was unlike anything humans had ever imagined. Towers of shimmering metal reached into the pale green sky, their surfaces reflecting the sunlight in a rainbow of colors. Hovering vehicles zipped between the spires, and streams of alien citizens moved gracefully along the walkways, their movements almost musical. Yet beneath the beauty of the city, a quiet tension lingered. Queen Serafini of the Xylan Empire stood on the balcony of her palace, overlooking the capital. Her eyes were sharp, her posture elegant, but a shadow passed over her heart. Today was meant to be a celebration, a festival of unity between the Xylans and their human allies. But even as she watched the bustling city, her mind was on her daughter, Lyra. Lyra was only 10 by human standards, but already she carried the poise and curiosity of the Xylan royal bloodline. Her hair shimmered like liquid silver, and her eyes reflected the colors of their world. She had been laughing earlier, playing among the exotic trees of the palace gardens, chasing a small floating creature that resembled a butterfly. But when Serafini had turned to fetch her cloak, Lyra had vanished. Panic gripped the queen's heart. "Where is she?" she demanded, her voice steady but firm. Her advisors, usually calm and collected, exchanged worried glances. She disappeared, Your Majesty," one of them said, bowing low. "No trace in the gardens, and the palace security reports nothing." Seraphine's mind raced. Kidnapping was rare in the Xylan Empire. Rare, but not impossible. Her stomach tightened as she imagined the unthinkable. Meanwhile, across the stars, Captain Elena Voss of Earth's Interstellar Peacekeeping Force reviewed her mission reports. Aboard the starship Aurora, her dark hair was tied back in a practical braid, and her sharp eyes scanned the holographic map of the Xylan capital. Elena had trained for years for situations like this. Her soldiers often joked that she had a sixth sense for danger. Today, that sense was screaming at her. A message arrived from the Xylan court. "Missing princess. Request human assistance." Elena's pulse quickened. This was no routine peacekeeping mission. This was a rescue. She stood and addressed her crew. "We're going in," she said, her voice calm but commanding. "Prepare for immediate departure. The princess's life may be in danger." Her crew moved efficiently, following her orders with trust earned through countless missions. Elena knew she would have to rely not only on strategy but on courage, quick thinking, and her ability to connect with others, human or alien, back on the Xylan Palace grounds. The queen summoned her council. The advisors debated security, possible kidnappers, and the reactions of the populace. But Seraphine's mind was elsewhere. She remembered holding Lyra as a baby, feeling the warmth of her tiny hands. She remembered teaching her first words and watching her take her first steps. And now, her daughter was gone. Suddenly, one of the palace scouts entered the chamber, breathless. "Your Majesty, we have detected movement beyond the city walls, a small ship departing the capital. It left minutes ago, and its design. It matches the stolen shuttle patterns reported in distant sectors." Seraphine's heart raced. A shuttle leaving the city without clearance was dangerous, but for a princess to be aboard, it was unthinkable. "Prepare a search party," she ordered, "and send word to our allies." The queen's eyes, normally calm and unreadable, softened as she whispered Lyra's name. "Please, come back to me, my little star, on the Aurora." Elena received the tracking coordinates from the Xylan Council. Her brow furrowed as she studied the data. The shuttle had traveled through dense asteroid belts and uncharted space lanes, places notorious for bandits and lawless pirates. "Looks like we'll have company," she said, tapping the navigation console. "This won't be easy, but nothing worth saving ever is." Elena's mind flashed to Lyra's small, silver-haired image, the princess's wide, curious eyes and mischievous smile. She had never met the girl personally, yet she felt a surge of responsibility. Humans were often underestimated in interstellar affairs, considered less advanced than alien species like the Xylans. But Elena knew one thing: courage, cleverness, and heart could outmatch even the most sophisticated technology. The journey to find Lyra was dangerous from the very start. The Aurora navigated through asteroid fields that could crush the strongest hull, and past rogue planets where gravity shifts could tear a ship apart. Elena's hands moved confidently over the controls, guiding her crew with precision. Steady, she said. Keep scanning for life signs. We don't have time to waste. Hours passed like minutes as the Aurora pushed deeper into uncharted regions. Finally, the ship's sensors detected faint energy signatures matching the missing shuttle. Elena's heart pounded. There's our trail. Mark it and prepare for approach. Meanwhile, the princess aboard the stolen shuttle struggled to stay calm. Her small fingers gripped the seat, and her heart raced as the ship jolted through space turbulence. She had no idea who had taken her or why. All she knew was fear. But even in her fear, a spark of Xylan courage burned inside her, a determination to survive, to wait for someone to come. Back in the palace, Queen Serafini refused to rest. She stood at the balcony, staring at the stars, willing her daughter to be safe. Elena Voss, she whispered aloud, hoping the human soldier could feel her plea across the galaxy. Bring her home. Elena and her team finally reached the shuttle's last known location, a small asteroid cluster, where communications were disrupted by natural energy fields. The sensors showed a faint life signature. Elena's jaw tightened. This is it. Prepare to board. Remember, the princess is fragile, but the situation is likely hostile. Stay sharp. The Aurora descended toward the asteroid cluster with practiced precision. Elena led a team in sleek suits designed for zero-gravity boarding. They approached the shuttle cautiously, weapons ready, but minds focused on rescue, not conflict. Inside the shuttle, Lyra heard noises, metallic clicks, and unfamiliar voices. Her fear spiked, but she held herself together, remembering her mother's teachings, even when scared. Find your courage. The doors to the shuttle suddenly opened, and Elena stepped inside, her presence calm yet commanding. Lyra, she said softly, it's okay. I'm here to take you home. Lyra's eyes widened. She had never seen a human like this, so confident, so steady. Something inside her recognized safety, even in this alien figure. She nodded hesitantly. I'm ready. Elena smiled gently. Good. Stay close to me. As they prepared to leave, the alien captors, realizing their plan was failing, attempted to resist. But Elena's team moved with swift coordination, disabling the threats without harm. The shuttle's engines roared to life, carrying Lyra and her rescuers away from danger and back toward the Xylan Empire. Far above, Queen Serafini watched the stars, hoping for the first sign of their return. Her heart thudded in her chest. Somewhere in the darkness of space, a human soldier carried her daughter back to her. And for the first time that day, Serafini allowed herself to hope. The journey had begun, and the galaxy would soon witness something extraordinary, the courage of a human, the bravery of a child, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and daughter. The stolen shuttle hummed softly as it sailed through the dark reaches of space. Escorted by the human starship Aurora, Lyra clung to Captain Elena Voss, her small frame trembling with exhaustion and fear. Every jolt of the shuttle made her grip tighten, but Elena's calm presence gave her a strange sense of safety. You're doing very well, Lyra, Elena said gently, keeping her voice low so the child wouldn't panic. Soon, you'll be back with your mother. I promise. Lyra's eyes, still wide from the events that had led her here, blinked up at the human. Will she be mad at me? She asked, her voice small. Elena shook her head. No. Your mother loves you more than anything. She's just worried. That's all. And soon, she'll hold you in her arms. Again, the shuttle shuddered as it passed through a belt of asteroid debris. Elena's eyes scanned the monitors, her fingers moving over the console with practiced skill. The sensors showed that the captors had fled, but something didn't feel right. The pattern of the shuttle's movement suggested that whoever had taken Lyra had not acted alone. This was planned, Elena muttered to herself, too precise for random bandits. Her crew aboard the Aurora worked silently, analyzing sensor data and plotting their course through the asteroid field. The captain's experience in dangerous zones proved invaluable. The human mind, resourceful and unflinching in the face of danger, made her crew confident. Even the alien members of her team, trained in advanced Xylan technology, had begun to admire her intuition. As they approached the edge of the asteroid belt, Elena ordered a temporary halt. "We need to be careful," she said. "There may be hidden ships or traps ahead." We moved slowly from here. Lyra, curious despite her fear, peered out of the shuttle's window at the glittering field of rocks. "Why are there so many rocks here?" she asked. Elena smiled, trying to make the tension lighter. "Space isn't always empty. These rocks are leftovers from planets that didn't form completely. We have to be careful because even a small rock can damage a ship." Lyra nodded, absorbing the explanation. She had always been taught about the stars and planets in her lessons with her mother, but seeing them up close was different. The beauty of space, even in danger, fascinated her. Suddenly, the shuttle's sensors detected a faint signal a ship cloaked in stealth technology was tracking them. Elena's heart tightened. "They're following us," she said, her tone steady but urgent. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers." The asteroid field became their shield. The Aurora and the shuttle darted between the massive rocks, twisting and turning to avoid detection. Elena's hands flew over the controls, guiding them with precision. Her crew worked in perfect harmony, human and alien minds synchronizing to protect the princess. Despite the danger, Elena spoke to Lyra calmly. "Stay low. Don't worry, we'll handle it." Lyra obeyed, gripping her seat tightly. She was amazed at how brave Elena seemed, unafraid of the enemy lurking nearby. In that moment, the young princess realized humans were capable of courage and cleverness that rivaled even the most advanced Xylan technology. The pursuing ship finally appeared from behind a massive asteroid. Its design was strange, angular, and covered in dark plates that reflected no light. Elena studied it quickly. "They're well equipped," she said, "but we can outsmart them. Follow my lead." Using a combination of the asteroid field and clever maneuvers, Elena led the enemy ship on a chase, luring them away from the shuttle. She relied on quick thinking and intuition, qualities humans often had in abundance. A sudden burst of speed sent the enemy ship colliding with a smaller asteroid, disabling its engines. Elena breathed a small sigh of relief. "Good work, team," she said quietly, keeping her focus on the shuttle. "Let's keep moving." Lyra, watching the events unfold, felt a mixture of awe and hope. She realized that the human beside her was not only strong but smart, able to protect her even against unknown enemies. It was unlike anything she had seen before in her own world. Hours passed as the journey continued through uncharted space. Elena guided the shuttle to a safe hiding spot on a small, barren moon. There, they could rest briefly and make repairs if needed. The moon's surface was rocky and silent, a stark contrast to the vibrant Xylan capital they had left behind. Elena set up a temporary camp, scanning the surroundings for any danger. Lyra stepped out cautiously, feeling the strange low-gravity pull at her movements. "It's quiet here," she said softly. Elena nodded. "Quiet can be good. It gives us time to think and plan. But we can't stay long." As they rested, Elena explained the plan to the princess in simple words. "We need to get you back to your mother. She's worried and waiting. We will follow the safest path we can, but there may be more obstacles. Do you understand?" Lyra nodded. "I understand. I want to go home." That night, under the dim light of distant stars, Elena reflected on their journey so far. Humans were often underestimated in galactic politics, considered less advanced than other species. But in moments like these, human courage and ingenuity made a difference. A human could think quickly, adapt, and act with determination. It was a strength that few alien species truly appreciated. The following morning, the crew prepared to continue. Elena guided the shuttle along secret routes, using knowledge of gravitational currents and hidden wormholes to move faster than any pursuer could predict. Lyra watched in wonder as the stars streaked past, realizing that humans had ways of navigating space that even her people found impressive. Suddenly, a transmission came through from the Xylan Council. Queen Seraphine's voice was calm but filled with worry. "Captain Voss, do you have my daughter?" Elena responded quickly, choosing her words carefully. "Yes, Your Majesty. Lyra is safe with us. We are navigating a safe path back to your city." The Queen's voice cracked slightly. Thank you, Captain. You are a true friend to our people." Lyra felt a warm feeling in her chest hearing her mother's voice. For the first time since she had been taken, she allowed herself to hope. The human beside her had kept her safe, guiding her through shadows and dangers she could barely imagine. As the shuttle moved closer to the next checkpoint, they detected another faint signal, this one from an abandoned space station orbiting a dying star. Elena studied the readings carefully. "It may be a trap," she said, "or it may be another clue to who took Lyra. We have to be careful." The shuttle approached the station cautiously. Elena's crew scanned for life signs and hidden weapons. The station appeared empty, silent, and lifeless, but the sensors revealed hidden compartments. Inside one of these compartments, they found remnants of alien technology, evidence that the captors had planned the kidnapping. Carefully, "This confirms it," Elena said. "Lyra's capture was deliberate. They wanted to destabilize your mother's rule, Princess. But they underestimated one thing." Lyra looked up at Elena. "What's that?" Elena smiled gently. "The courage of a human who doesn't give up." As they prepared to leave the station and continue their journey home, Lyra felt a new sense of trust in her human protector. She realized that humans, though different, were capable of bravery, cleverness, and loyalty beyond what she had imagined. In the shadows of space, a bond was forming between the young princess and the human soldier who had risked everything to save her. The journey through danger was far from over, but hope had returned, and in that hope, Lyra began to see a future where courage and determination could overcome even the darkest shadows. The stars stretched endlessly around the human starship Aurora, and the small shuttle carrying Princess Lyra, the young girl, still wide-eyed with wonder and relief, clung to Captain Elena Voss as the ships moved steadily toward the Xylan capital. Though the immediate danger had passed, the journey was far from over. Elena knew that one wrong move could bring new threats, and she remained alert, every sense tuned to the environment. Lyra watched the passing stars and swirling nebulae, fascinated by their beauty. "Captain Elena," she said softly, "how do you know which way is safe?" Elena smiled, her fingers flying over the controls. "Experience, instinct, and a little human stubbornness," she replied. "Humans have a way of seeing paths others miss. You'll see we'll find a safe way home." Lyra nodded thoughtfully. Though she was young, she could sense Elena's confidence and calm. It was different from what she had known on the palace grounds, different, yet comforting. Here in the quiet of space, she began to trust the human who had risked everything to save her. The shuttle's sensors picked up an unexpected anomaly, a region of energy fluctuations, invisible to most navigation systems, blocking their path. Elena frowned. "Looks like a natural energy field. It could disrupt the shuttle's systems." One of her alien crew members, a skilled engineer named Tylar, studied the readings. "We can pass through, but it will be rough. The shuttle's shields will be stressed." Elena made her decision quickly. "We don't have a choice. We must go through. Brace yourselves, Lyra." As the shuttle entered the energy field, it trembled violently. Lights flickered, and Lyra gripped Elena tightly, her small body trembling. Elena's calm voice kept her grounded. "Steady, Princess. Focus on my voice, not the shaking. We'll get through this together." Minutes passed, though it felt like hours. The energy field tested every skill Elena had honed over years of missions. She adjusted the shuttle's trajectory repeatedly, relying on quick thinking and precision. Finally, the ship emerged on the other side, slightly battered but intact. Lyra exhaled in relief. "You did it," she whispered, looking up at Elena with awe. Elena smiled, brushing a strand of silver hair from Lyra's face. "We did it, together." For the first time since the kidnapping, Lyra began to relax. She realized that humans, though different from her own people, were capable of courage and cleverness beyond what she had imagined. She felt a growing admiration and gratitude for the human soldier who had kept her safe. As they continued, Elena shared small stories of human life, explaining simple things about Earth, how people celebrated, how they solved problems, and how they valued family. Lyra listened intently, fascinated. The stories made the human world seem both strange and wonderful. Suddenly, the shuttle's sensors detected movement ahead, another ship approaching, faster and more aggressive than before. Elena's eyes narrowed. "Looks like they didn't give up," she muttered. Tyler's hand hovered over the controls. "It's a pursuit vessel. They're equipped with energy disruptors. If they hit us, the shields may fail." Elena didn't hesitate. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers. Lyra, stay down. This is going to be rough, but we'll handle it." The enemy ship fired energy pulses, which Elena expertly dodged using the shuttle's agility. The small craft twisted and darted through the void, narrowly avoiding collisions with nearby asteroids. Every move required split-second decisions, and Elena's mind worked like a finely tuned instrument. Anticipating every attack, Lyra watched from her seat, her heart racing. She saw how fearless and capable Elena was, even under extreme pressure. In that moment, Lyra understood something she had never thought about before. Humans could be heroes, not because of strength or technology alone, but because of their courage and determination. After a tense chase, the enemy ship finally disengaged, unable to match Elena's skillful navigation. The shuttle shuddered as it escaped, and the crew let out a collective sigh of relief. Lyra hugged Elena tightly. "You saved me again," she said softly, her voice filled with emotion. Elena patted her back gently. "That's what I'm here for. You're safe now, Lyra, and soon you'll be home." As they approached the outer reaches of the Xylan Empire, Elena made contact with the palace. Queen Seraphine's voice came through, calm but tinged with worry. "Captain Voss, are you near the capital? Is Lyra safe?" "She's safe, Your Majesty," Elena replied. "We are approaching the safest route to return her. The journey is not without risk, but we will get her home." The Queen's relief was palpable. "Thank you, Captain. You are a true friend to our people. My daughter will be safe because of you." Lyra felt warmth spread through her chest hearing her mother's voice. Though she had been through so much, she realized that the human soldier had not only saved her life, but had also given her hope. She had learned to trust Elena fully, and that trust strengthened her resolve. The next challenge came unexpectedly. The shuttle's systems began to fluctuate, the result of the earlier energy field. Tyler and Elena worked quickly to stabilize the engines. Sparks flew, and the small craft trembled. Lyra watched, silently praying. Elena's hands moved confidently over the controls. "We can fix this," she said. "Just stay calm. We're almost home." With expert adjustments, the engine stabilized, and the shuttle glided smoothly once more. Lyra let out a small laugh, relief washing over her. "You really can do anything, can't you?" she said, a smile breaking across her face. Elena chuckled. "Not anything, but I can do my best, and that's enough when it matters most." As they neared the capital, the city lights twinkled in the distance like stars brought close. Lyra's heart raced with anticipation. She could almost see her mother waiting, her arms open. She felt a mix of excitement and nervousness, unsure how the reunion would feel after all that had happened. Elena guided the shuttle to a secure landing zone outside the palace grounds. She turned to Lyra. "This is it, Princess. Soon, you'll be with your mother." Lyra nodded, taking a deep breath. "I'm ready." Together, they stepped out of the shuttle. The cool evening air of the Xylan capital brushed against Lyra's face. Her eyes searched for her mother, and then she saw her Queen Seraphine standing tall. Her expression composed yet strained with emotion. Lyra ran forward, her small legs carrying her as fast as she could. "Mom!" she cried. Seraphine's eyes widened, and then she dropped to her knees, embracing her daughter tightly. Tears glistened in her eyes as she whispered, "Lyra, my little star, you're safe." Lyra clung to her mother, feeling the warmth and love she had feared lost. I'm back," she said softly. Elena watched from a distance, a gentle smile on her face. Her mission was complete. She had not only rescued a princess, but had reunited a mother and daughter. The courage and determination of humans, she thought, could achieve incredible things even across the vastness of space. The reunion lasted only a few minutes before the Queen pulled back slightly to look at Elena. "Captain Voss," she said. her voice trembling with gratitude. "You have my eternal thanks. You risked everything for my daughter." Elena bowed slightly. "It was my duty, Your Majesty, and it was worth every risk to bring her home safely." Lyra looked up at Elena with admiration. "Thank you," she said simply. "You saved me." Elena knelt to meet her gaze. "You are brave too, Lyra. Never forget that." The palace guards and citizens who had gathered witnessed the extraordinary moment. Whispers spread through the crowd. Humans, once thought distant and ordinary, were capable of acts that could rival even the most advanced alien technology. In this one act, perceptions began to change. As the night sky of the Xylan capital glowed above them, the bond between Lyra and Elena solidified. A child's trust and a human's courage had created something extraordinary, a connection that transcended species, fear, and danger. The journey back to the palace marked the beginning of a new understanding. Humans were not just visitors to the galaxy. They were protectors, problem solvers, and heroes. And in the eyes of Lyra and her mother, one human soldier had proven that courage and heart could light the darkest corners of space. For Lyra, the adventure had taught her a valuable lesson. Bravery comes in many forms, and sometimes the smallest acts of courage can change everything. And for Elena, the mission was a reminder that humans could rise to challenges no one thought possible, proving that determination and loyalty were the greatest strengths a person could have. Together, they walked toward the palace, the glow of the city reflecting in their eyes. The stars above seemed to shine a little brighter, as if celebrating the return of the lost princess and the human who had made it possible. The palace gates of the Xylan capital opened wide as Princess Lyra ran into her mother's arms. Queen Serafini had never moved so quickly, never felt so helpless and desperate. The court, guards, and even the citizens who had gathered around watched in awe as the queen embraced her lost daughter. Tears ran freely down Serafini's elegant face. For days, she had maintained her composure, reassuring the council, giving orders, but inside, a storm of fear and sorrow had raged. And now, with Lyra safe, all that pain poured out in the form of tears. In the warmth of an embrace she never wanted to end. "I thought I lost you," Serafini whispered, her voice breaking. "I thought I'd never see you again." Lyra clung tightly, burying her face in her mother's chest. I'm back, Mom," she said softly. The words were simple, yet they carried the weight of everything she had endured, the fear, the uncertainty, and the hope that had kept her alive. Outside the embrace, Captain Elena Voss watched quietly. She had done what she came to do, and yet she felt the quiet satisfaction of witnessing something extraordinary. This moment, the return of a lost daughter to her mother, was a victory not just of skill, but of courage, loyalty, and determination. Humans, she thought, could indeed shape events on a galactic scale, sometimes in ways that even the most advanced technology could not. The court slowly approached, led by Serafini's advisors. Their expressions had softened. The queen's composure, though shattered in private moments, inspired a deep respect for the human soldier who had accomplished what they could not. Serafini stepped back slightly and turned to Elena. "Captain Voss, you have my eternal gratitude," she said. Her voice was filled with awe, reverence, and something more profound, recognition. "You risked everything to bring my daughter home safely." Elena bowed respectfully. "It was my duty, Your Majesty. I only did what I had to do." "No," Serafini insisted, her eyes shining. "You did far more than your duty. You showed courage, skill, and heart. My people will never forget this." Lyra, still holding her mother's hand, looked at Elena with wide, admiring eyes. "Thank you for saving me," she said quietly, a smile breaking through her relief. "I didn't know humans could be so brave." Elena knelt down to meet Lyra's gaze. "Humans can be many things, Lyra, but the most important thing is to be brave when it matters most and never give up on someone you care about." The queen watched the exchange, a mixture of pride and wonder in her expression. She had long known that humans were different, unpredictable, and resourceful. But seeing Elena in action, guiding, protecting, and saving her daughter, was proof that humans were more than allies. They could be heroes, capable of acts that transcended species, technology, and fear. Serafini motioned to the palace guards. "Prepare a ceremony," she ordered. "We must honor this human who has shown such bravery and loyalty. Captain Voss deserves recognition before all of Xylan." The news spread quickly. Word of Lyra's safe return and Elena's heroism traveled through the capital like wildfire. Citizens gathered in the streets, their faces reflecting admiration, gratitude, and awe. Humans, once distant and underestimated, were now seen as protectors, capable of acts that could change lives and restore hope. The ceremony began in the Grand Hall, the largest in the Xylan capital. The walls were lined with shimmering crystals, glowing softly under the ambient light. Alien dignitaries, advisors, and curious citizens filled the hall, their eyes fixed on Elena. Standing humbly at the front, Queen Serafini approached, holding Lyra's hand. "Today," she began, her voice resonant and clear, "we honor someone who has reminded us all that courage knows no species. Captain Elena Voss of Earth has not only returned my daughter safely, but has shown that determination, cleverness, and heart can shape the future." A hush fell over the crowd, followed by applause that echoed through the hall. Even the stoic advisors found themselves moved by the human's bravery. Elena stood silently, letting the moment wash over her. She had no need for praise. Seeing Lyra safe and her mother reunited was reward enough. Lyra, feeling a sense of pride and gratitude, stepped forward. "Captain Elena," she said, her small voice carrying across the hall, "thank you for saving me. You are my hero." Elena knelt to meet her eyes. "And you are brave, Lyra. Remember that always. Even when things seem impossible, courage can light the way." The queen's tears fell once again as she looked at Elena. "You have reminded all of us that humans, though young in the galaxy, possess qualities that cannot be measured by technology or power alone. Heart, loyalty, and courage are your greatest strengths." The ceremony continued with accolades and expressions of gratitude. Decorations were presented to Elena, gifts symbolic of respect and honor. But she accepted them with humility, knowing that her actions were part of something far greater, the reunion of a family, and the strengthening of bonds between species. After the ceremony, Serafini led Lyra to her private chambers. The room was filled with familiar warmth, soft lights, and the comforting presence of home. Lyra finally let herself relax fully, feeling the protection of her mother's embrace once more. "Mom," she whispered, her eyes glistening, "I never want to be away from you again." Serafini held her close. "I never want that either, my little star. You are safe now, and thanks to Captain Elena, we can be together." Meanwhile, Elena observed from a distance, feeling a quiet satisfaction. Humans had often been underestimated in the galaxy, but now their courage had been recognized. A human soldier had faced danger, uncertainty, and the unknown to protect life and reunite a family. That act would be remembered, not just by the Xylans, but by the galaxy itself. As the evening settled over the Xylan capital, the stars reflected in the city's towers, sparkling like tiny beacons of hope. The people whispered among themselves about humans and the incredible things they could accomplish. Elena's actions had not only saved a life, but had shifted perceptions, proving that bravery, cleverness, and loyalty could overcome even the darkest threats. Lyra, now safe, slept peacefully in her mother's chambers, dreaming of the stars and the human who had guided her through shadows. Queen Serafini stayed beside her, silently grateful, feeling that the galaxy had been forever changed by one human's courage. Elena, standing in the palace courtyard under the soft glow of alien lights, allowed herself a small smile. Humans had their flaws, she knew, but in moments like these, they had the power to shine brighter than any star. The journey had been dangerous, the path uncertain, but the outcome was clear. Hope had returned, courage had been proven, and the bond between species had grown stronger. In the days that followed, humans were celebrated in the capital. Stories of Elena's bravery were told in schools, echoed in the halls of government, and whispered by citizens eager to remember the hero who had saved a princess. Lyra often spoke of Elena with admiration, eager to learn more about the human who had shown her that courage came in many forms, the queen, watching her daughter laugh and play once more, knew that she owed this moment to the humans and especially to Captain Elena. The galaxy had seen the extraordinary qualities of a species often underestimated: ingenuity, courage, loyalty, and heart. These were the traits that had saved her daughter, and reminded everyone that humans were more than capable allies. They were heroes in their own right. As the night deepened and the city quieted, Elena gazed up at the stars. She thought of the dangers they had faced, the courage it took to persevere, and the importance of standing for what mattered most. Humans had proven themselves once again capable of changing fate, saving lives, and inspiring hope. And somewhere in the palace chambers, a princess slept, dreaming safely beside her mother, unaware of the countless lives she had touched simply by being herself and of the human who had ensured she could dream another day. The reunion was complete. The mother's tears, the daughter's return, and the hero's courage had all left a mark on the galaxy. Humans had shown that their bravery and heart could shine brightly among the stars, and the Xylan Empire would never forget it. The Xylan capital shone under the soft light of its twin moons, a city of beauty and history. But that night it gleamed even brighter, filled with the quiet pride and admiration of its citizens. Word of Princess Lyra's safe return and the bravery of Captain Elena Voss had spread across the Empire. Humans, long seen as distant and limited in influence, were now celebrated as heroes. In the palace, Queen Serafini walked alongside her daughter through the gardens, their hands intertwined. Lyra's laughter echoed in the air, full of relief and joy. It was a sound Serafini had longed to hear for days, and now, thanks to Elena, it filled the palace with hope once more. You know, Lyra, the queen said softly, courage comes in many forms. But what Captain Elena showed, that is a rare kind of bravery. Lyra nodded thoughtfully. I understand, Mom. She didn't just fight. She thought, she planned, and she never gave up on me. Serafini smiled, brushing a strand of Lyra's silver hair from her face. Exactly, and we will remember that. Humans are extraordinary in ways we sometimes underestimate. Meanwhile, Captain Elena Voss was being honored in the palace hall. The ceremony was unlike any other the Xylans had ever held. Statues and banners celebrated courage and unity, and the citizens watched in awe as the human soldier accepted recognition for her actions. Elena stood humbly, letting the praise wash over her. She had not acted for fame or glory. Her mission had been to save a life. But the acknowledgement was meaningful. It was proof that human courage could be respected and celebrated across the galaxy, and that even the smallest species could make a difference in monumental ways. Queen Serafini approached her human guest. Captain Voss, the council has spoken, she said, her voice full of warmth. We want to establish a permanent friendship between our peoples. Humans are now allies we can trust fully, and this is thanks to you. Elena shook her head, smiling modestly. I only did what anyone would do if they could. But I am honored, Your Majesty, and I am proud to see humans recognized as capable allies. Across the hall, Lyra's eyes sparkled as she watched Elena. I want to learn more about humans, she said quietly. I want to know how they think, how they live, and how they can be so brave. Elena crouched down to meet her gaze. You will see, Lyra, humans are resourceful, curious, and brave when they need to be. But the most important thing is heart. Courage comes from caring about others, not from weapons or technology. Lyra nodded, understanding for the first time that bravery was not just about strength. It was about empathy, intelligence, and determination. And she knew she had witnessed it firsthand. After the ceremony, the palace opened its gates to allow citizens to personally meet Elena. People came from all corners of the city, offering thanks, gifts, and admiration. The human soldier's presence became a symbol of unity and courage. Aliens of many species, long skeptical of humans, now recognized the value of the human spirit. Elena walked through the crowd, exchanging nods and smiles. She spoke to children about bravery, taught them simple lessons about quick thinking and empathy, and reminded them that courage came in many forms. The children listened intently, their eyes wide with fascination. They had seen humans only in stories or reports before, but now they understood that humans could inspire hope and action across worlds. Back in her private chambers, Queen Serafini and Lyra shared a quiet moment. "Your mother will always protect you," Serafini said softly. "But now, you've seen that there are others who will stand for what is right, even across the stars." Lyra nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "And humans can do amazing things," she said, a small smile lighting her face. "I want to be brave like Captain Elena someday." Serafini kissed her daughter's forehead. "You already are brave, Lyra, but you will always carry what you've learned from her, the courage to act, the determination to help, and the heart to care." The next days were filled with celebrations across the capital. Humans were invited to witness cultural ceremonies, learn about Xylan history, and share stories of heroism. Scientists and scholars from both worlds collaborated to document the events, ensuring that future generations would understand the significance of human bravery and compassion. Elena spent time in the capital, assisting with these preparations. She taught techniques for strategy, problem-solving, and quick decision-making, demonstrating that human methods could complement even the most advanced alien technology. The aliens learned to respect not just human courage, but human intelligence, adaptability, and creativity. Lyra often joined these sessions, eager to learn. She marveled at the humans' ability to think on their feet, improvise in dangerous situations, and yet remain compassionate. She realized that humans were different. Yes, but in their differences lay strengths that could change the galaxy. As the days turned to weeks, Elena prepared to return to Earth. The Queen and Lyra accompanied her to the landing site. The young princess hugged Elena tightly. "Thank you for saving me," she whispered. "I will never forget you." Elena smiled, holding back her own emotions. "And I will never forget you, Lyra. Remember to be brave and never stop caring for others. That is what makes heroes." Queen Serafini stepped forward, her expression proud. "You have earned our respect and gratitude forever, Captain Voss. Humans will always be welcome in our empire." Elena nodded. "And Xylan friends will always have allies in humans." The human soldier boarded her ship, glancing one last time at the capital, the palace, and the stars above. She felt a sense of fulfillment. A life had been saved, a family had been reunited, and perceptions had been changed. Humans were no longer seen as distant observers. They were capable of courage, ingenuity, and heroism that could shape worlds. As the aurora lifted into the stars, Lyra waved from the landing site, her mother by her side. The city below sparkled with life, hope, and gratitude. Elena knew that her actions had created ripples far beyond a single mission. Humans, she realized, had the potential to inspire change, protect the innocent, and build alliances stronger than any technology could provide. Back on Earth, reports of Elena's heroism inspired others. Young soldiers and civilians alike listened to her stories, learning that bravery, determination, and heart were traits that could transcend any challenge. Humans, often underestimated in the galaxy, were now seen as capable of greatness. Lyra, under her mother's guidance, continued to grow. She shared her experiences with other Xylans, teaching them the lessons she had learned: courage, empathy, and the power of trust. Humans became legends in her stories, their bravery woven into the culture of the Xylan Empire. Queen Serafini watched her daughter with pride. The events had not only reunited them, but they had shown her people that humans were more than allies. They were heroes who could bridge worlds. She felt a deep sense of hope for the future, and somewhere in the stars, Captain Elena Voss navigated her ship, ready for the next mission, carrying the knowledge that humans could face the unknown and emerge victorious. The galaxy had seen what humans could do when courage, heart, and intelligence combined. In time, humans became known not only for exploration but for heroism. Their stories spread across systems, inspiring other species to act with bravery and compassion. And in the Xylan Empire, the tale of Princess Lyra's rescue became a legend, a story of courage, trust, and the extraordinary bond between a human and a princess. The stars above twinkled as if in approval, reflecting a galaxy forever changed. Courage had triumphed, Families had been reunited. Humans had shown that even the smallest species could achieve greatness. And in the hearts of those who had witnessed it, hope and admiration for humans burned brightly, lighting a path for future adventures among the stars.